right, welcome to the 6 weeks. You made it. I know you're so excited. Let's look at what you're looking at this 6 weeks. You are doing the 21st century of Texas. You made it through Texas history. So let's start with your unit documents, where we always start with your unit overview about what this is going to be about. This is about basically, in your suggested pacing guide, this is how I've broken it down, to your 21st century economy and 21st century government. You're going to spend about 20 days on the economy, 9 days on the government. The reason why we're doing that is that economy piece is so big. It's about what's happening, and then you can also look at the just pieces of the government, who's currently head of our government, all those types of things. So let's look at our standards. One, you're describing how the free enterprise system works. So make sure that you can look at commodities and determine how a price is impacted by supply and demand. You're going to give examples of the benefits of a free enterprise system. So you need to be able to identify consumer choices and opportunity costs. So I have some examples here about what makes our free enterprise system a great thing here in Texas, and it's basically because we have so much choice and opportunity. To also explain how geographic features, and what I have there is that they need to know that industry clusters are geographically concentrated groups of companies related by technologies that they use. The presence of oil and gas has traditionally made energy into the state's major industry cluster. Since World War II, we've also been a high-tech center. That central location and proximity to Mexico have boosted the concentration of the transportation industry. And a key focus here is that Barnett Shale of Fort Worth. And I have on here a sample assessment question that would say, creating a timeline of major oil and gas exploration. It's the second one. Property owners in and around Fort Worth are making money each year by leasing their mineral rights so that companies can drill for the Barnett Shale natural gas. This is an example of, and then they have to match that to the vocabulary in the TEK that says how geographic factors such as natural resources influence the economy of Texas. That is a verbiage that they should be able to figure out. So I've kind of asked a question a little bit backwards. So it's not just that they understand the content, but what we're trying to get them is to apply an example to an overarching theme. We also have described the impact of mass production, and we have on here that automotive plants, that the migration of the manufacturing jobs into Mexico is shifting mass production out of the state. Now, we do have some automotive plants, and my sample assessment question has them kind of looking at these as to why these are important. And finance, banking, education, publishing, other service industries are located primarily in the metropolitan areas, and mostly along the I-35 corridor, and you should be able to show them what that is. We have to explain how developments in transportation and communication have influenced the economic activities. So here I have a map of major cities and towns in Texas, and notice over here I've given you a PDF for that as well. And then based on the map below, is Arlington a center for water transportation? Obviously not. So think of the places that would benefit from water transportation. They just have to see that. On this one, explain the impact of American ideals about progress, equality of opportunity. What they have to know is that industry clusters impact the average earnings of workers in an area, and the more competition, the higher the wages goes. So what I've used as an example from Dallas-Fort Worth and then out in West Texas about starting teacher salaries, and so that they have to figure out the reason for this. And it's really because here there's more competition between teachers, and because of it's a major city. So they have to hire more to get that type of quality in, and so they need to know that. It's not that the teachers in West Texas are not as skilled or not as excellent as the teachers in the DFW Metroplex, but anytime you're in a big Metroplex, your ability to make money because of the competition, it drives the cost of earning. Here we have identify ways that Texas is an exporting state, and what they need to know is that Texas is ranked as the third most globalized state in the U.S. and why. And so they have to look at several different reasons and put that together. They need to identify that oil and gas petroleum products purchased around the world are crude and refined petroleum products, pipeline and drilling products. All those are purchased from us, and they need to know that. They need to trace products which are imported to Texas from other states. So I have an opportunity where they look at all their shoes and they see where they're from and talk about how that got there. This goes into the government piece about the legislative branch, the executive branch, the judicial branch. They need to know that. And then I have a question that's something that they're going to find is very relatable to them. Which branch of government is responsible for making the laws about who to test on the STAR exam? That's especially timely with all the talk that's going on around the EOC at this time of year. They do have to recite Texas Our Texas, and I have on here that they could create a vocabulary-tune for the keywords and phrases of the song, and I have a sample vocabulary-tune directions here and an example. They should know who their state representatives and figure out that you have to hold state representatives accountable, and they should know how to do that. They should know that part of their job as a citizen is to be informed and to vote. They have to know how to contact elected leaders and appointed leaders in state and local government. And I really also want you on this TEK to focus on the difference, because there are elected state leaders, but there are also appointed state leaders. And if you are an appointed leader, and if you were appointed by the governor, how do you think that means your politics? Who do you think your politics are in line with? That's a great question for them, because the Commissioner of Education is an appointed position. And so that directly affects them, these appointed people. So that's good for them to know. They need to identify current leaders, and they need to identify leadership qualities and predict how future scientific discoveries and that economy is going to work out in the future. Fourth grade, I want to say you have done a fantastic job this year. I have been blessed to work with you. I'm so lucky that you are here for the students in BISD. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to help, and I hope you have a fantastic summer.